Alright, for this problem we're asked to factor completely, and oftentimes that's all the guidance you'll be given, so you need a bit of a roadmap to follow. And this is what I'll suggest as a roadmap. Whenever you're factoring, the first thing to try is GCF, that's greatest common factor. If there is one, factor it out. Then you have to pay attention to how many terms. Do you have 2 terms? Do you have 3 terms? Or 4 terms? In this case we have 3 terms with something in front of the x squared, so we're going to use the box or the grouping method. Okay? Whether you're going to use box or grouping, you always start by looking for the GCF. That part, that's always the first step when factoring. So you look at each term and we can get a 3 out of each term. So that means we're going to factor out a 3. And again, that means we're going to divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. And this 3 shows that I'm willing to send it back in. So our first term becomes 3b squared. The second term becomes 13b. And the last term becomes 5, and so that 3 would go in there 5 times. Then you have to say that would be 18 left over. 3 times 6 is 18. So 3 goes into 168 56 times. All right. Now you still have a leading coefficient other than 1. So you have to use box or grouping are the 2 methods we've shown. There are others, but that's what we've shown so far. So you multiply 3 times 56. I think I'll come over here. And that gives us 168. It's just a coincidence that we factored out the very number we end up multiplying here. It doesn't usually work that way. But anyway, 3 times 56 is 168. And then you list all your factors. So 1, 168, 2, 84, 3 will work because that adds up to 15. So 3 happens to be times 56. 4 works because I can cut 84 in half. That's 42. 5 won't work. 6, yep, I can cut 56 in half. And I'm starting to run out of room here. 7, the only way to know if 7 works is to divide it in there. So 7 into 168 goes in twice. And look, 7 goes into 28 4 times. So 7 times 24 works. 8, yeah, I can cut 42 in half. So that would be 8 times 21. Aha! And all the while, we've been looking for a difference because of that. And negative 13 is what we want. Difference of negative 13. And we have it here. Negative 21, positive 8. That'll give us our negative 13. Once you settle on the 2 numbers that you're going to use right here, none of these will work, so you can forget about them. Go ahead and give yourself a nice 4-chamber box. First term in the first box. Last term in the last box. I don't care about the sign down here. And then these other 2 boxes, a positive 8 in one, a negative 21 in the other. Actually, I usually make these a color, so. Just so they stand out a little bit more. So again, this one will be our 8. and negative 21. And there is one thing you have to remember. When we multiplied way back here, 3b, it was really 3b squared times negative 56. So it's really a negative 168b squared. So there's actually a b here and a b here. So you have to remember to put those variables in the box. Okay? And now you just look to see what is the greatest common factor of 56 and this negative 21b. Let's see. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit on this. There we go. Alright, so first we go straight up with these two boxes, then these two boxes, then we go across with these two and these two. So with a 21 and a 56, 3 won't go into that thing. 7 will, and 7 goes into 21 as well. So if the negative's almost out, it comes out, and negative 7 is the greatest common factor of 56 and 21. Okay. Then going straight up here, with the 3 and the 8, all you can get out is a 1. But b and b squared, you can get a b out. All right. Then coming straight across the top here, 3b, you can get 3b out of here. You can get 3b out of here. So that's what we factor out. And across the bottom, you could get 8 out of here. You can get 8 out of here. Notice I can't pull a b out because I don't have a b in this spot. So 8 is the GCF. And we have our binomials here. This 3, you have to keep up with it, so it's still there. The first set of parentheses, I'll put b minus 7. Second set of parentheses, 3b plus 8, because that's a positive 8. And this could be a little bit neater here. There, it looks more like 8 now. 3b plus 8. And this 3b plus 8 could be sitting here. B minus 7 could be sitting there. That really doesn't matter. Oops, excuse me there. So this is the factored form. And I'll show you real quickly how I would do factor by grouping, but I'll pick it up from right here. So I'm going to slide this up some. If you had 3 outside the parentheses, and then 3b squared minus 13b minus 56. You do the same first step. Multiply 3 times 56, and that will give you the 168. But what you're doing with factor by grouping is you're taking this middle term and breaking it up into 2 terms. You need 4 terms for factor by grouping. And we figured out that a positive 8b and negative 21b. So plus 8b minus 21b. And think about it. If I put these two together, I'll get a negative 13b. Whoops, sorry, I slid off my paper here. I'll just have to slide this guy up. There we go. All right, so again, if you combine the 8b and negative 21b, you'll get a negative 13b. This 3b squared was sitting in the first position. Negative 56 was sitting there. The grouping part is you group together the first two, and you look for the greatest common factor, which is going to be b. That means you divide by b and divide by b. That leaves you with 3b plus 8. Then you look at the next two and you say, what's the GCF? It's going to be a 7, but you have a positive here, a negative there, and you want this set of parentheses to end up looking the same as that set. So I'm going to factor out a negative 7. That means I divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7. So we end up with a positive 3b. Negative 56 divided by negative 7 is positive 8. And then you do the process one more time. 3b plus 8 is your greatest common factor now. It occurs here and it occurs over here. So 3b plus 8, when we factor it out of here, that's gone. The only thing left is the b. When we factor it out of here, that's gone. The only thing left is negative 7. This 3 that we factored out at the very beginning has to come down, and it sits in front of our answer. All right. So whether you use the box method, you end up with this answer, or factor by grouping, you get the same result.